it's time to do Mystic 4. You're right. It's round 2 of Grand Prix. And the championship match.
Mystic 4, we're gonna see some great fights tonight, guys. Tearing each other apart, ripping arms, busting skulls. It's gonna be huge.
You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. We're gonna crown the champion tonight.
Let's get started, man.
Thanks again for joining us, everyone, tonight. Brian Fritz alongside Dickerman. We get set for the finals here of Mystic for the Grand Prix finals as we get set for Middle Easy taking on the MMA Forum. SlackBrian taking on Boiler.
And SlackBrian has got his work cut out for him. Boiler has just been such a dominant player. 544 wins. He's a master white belt taking on SlackBrian, who's a blue belt. 103 wins, but I mean, you just can't compare to what Boiler's done in the game thus far.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see Boiler with a huge advantage going into this fight, but can SlackBrian pull the upset? Can he somehow get a big shot? Can he do something right off the bat to get Boiler in trouble and come away with the win and be the guy that pulls away with the Grand Prix Tournament Championship?
That's what's the bottom line is here. This is for the Grand Prix Tournament title. SlackBrian taking on Boiler, and you got to think Boiler's got a distinct advantage going in.
A little tail with the tape here. We look over at SlackBrian. Good numbers across the board. Maybe submission down a little bit. Very high health. But with Boiler, good numbers as well, plus the experience factor heavily in his favor.
Yeah, you look at these stats and think, oh, these guys are pretty even. When the match starts out, you're going to see Boiler has got a distinct advantage in this one. SlackBrian has seriously got his work cut out for him tonight.
In the blue corner, from the United States,
Butterball, also known as Boiler. We saw him victorious last time out. That is how he got to the finals. TKO victory.
in the red corner, Brian Stevens.
There's SlackBrian in the Middle Easy shirt, representing his company. He works with Middle Easy. He's out of Canada.
Able to get a TKO victory in his last fight over Greasy Bug.
Make no mistake, Brian's looked good. I mean, he's just taking on a monster in Boiler. It's like going in there against Fedor.
It's not easy to attain the level of a master white belt. That's what Boiler has done. But regardless, here we go. SlackBrian taking on Boiler. Grand Prix Tournament Finals here at Mystic 4.
A touch of the gloves to show respect.
Let's see who's the aggressor, and it looks like it's going to be Boiler. We've seen it with the heavy hands. The last time we saw him, he got a TKO victory against Ninja in a war, just a bloody battle between the two of them.
Yeah, that was a heck of a fight between him and Ninja. Make no mistake, Ninja was a very tough opponent, and Boiler did very well against him.
A lot of bragging rights on the line here.
You know, Boiler absolutely, he wants this title. Of course, SlackBrian wants to take it home and have it there for Middle Easy. His favorite fighter is Fedor, so he's got that going for him. Out of Canada, you know, if you call the Marriott Reservation Center, you're going to talk to Brian. Probably not right now because he's fighting, but, you know, later. Although if he's answering phones now while he fights, that would be quite impressive.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Talking about something cool, join us in the chat room right now, easportsmma.com. Nick is in there right now chatting it up with everybody.
Give you some technical aspects of the game.
Oh, he's in trouble already. Oh, SlackBrian is in a lot of trouble. Oh, that's a soccer kick. No, knees to the head, but he's going to hold on here somehow.
Wow, Boiler all over him. He hit him with a big shot. He hit him with a soccer kick. He hit him with a knee to the head, and somehow Brian survived all that.
That's where that 97 health comes into play.
Wow.
He's still in a lot of trouble here. You can tell me, the heavy hands of Boiler just going to work here.
Boiler has got some big-time heavy hands. That soccer kick, I thought with that knee to the head it was going to be over.
Well, he really sized him up for that kick, too, and it's amazing it didn't take his head clean off.
Kudos to Brian for somehow surviving that and still having all his body parts intact. Boiler,
he must have tough skin, too. He's not even busted open.
No, Boiler seems to be a very patient fighter, but when he gets you, he really goes after you.
Look at SlackBrian being a little aggressive. Boiler trying to take it down on the mat, and he gets stuffed here.
Yeah. Brian did very nice. He was connected with some punches. Boiler said, I don't like this. I'm going to go ahead and go for a takedown, break up this position here.
The one thing I do wonder when it comes to Brian is he's not coming at him from angles. He's just straight forward going right after Boiler.
Couple nice shots there by Brian, though. He's still in this game, absolutely.
He is. He's landing some good shots, but like we saw in the last fight for Boiler, his opponent does not have really heavy hands.
Boiler's got 282 knockouts all time of those 544 wins, so you know he's got big power and big shots.
It's funny because I think he's got the power advantage here, but yet he's the guy that's being more aggressive and trying to take the fight down to the ground.
Yeah, you know, he may have a game plan here. You know, when you're a master white belt, you got lots of different ideas of what you want to do while playing the game.
Five-point palm exploding heart technique, too, I think, when you get to the master white belt.
Easy for you to say.
That's what I get for trying to bring that up.
Yeah.
Good takedown there by Boiler. This is where he wanted to take the fight. Over 200 victories by submission, but look at that.
Look at Brian, able to turn him right away. Very nicely done. Kudos to Brian. I think I underestimated his fighting ability going into this fight here.
He's got a small cut on the right side of his face now. Just a little bit of blood sort of trickled down his cheek.
It's been a pretty even matchup, you know, other than the big knockdown and the big soccer kick and knee to the head by Boiler earlier. Brian has been very competitive here. Representing very well. MiddleEasy.com, of course, Boiler representing the forums. EA MMA.
Good job by Brian once again, stuffing the takedown. You can see him trying to go for some bigger shots here, not just some jabs, but he's been trying to land some bigger hooks.
I wonder if Boiler wants to get it to the ground and finish it like he did last time against Ninja Infinity. Pass the guard, get him out, and rain down some big, heavy blows.
He definitely wants to get this fight down on the ground, and Brian won't have any part of that.
No, Brian's done a great job. You know, I should probably apologize to Brian for not giving him enough credit going to this fight with Boiler.
And now Boiler got it down on the ground, but it's not going to last.
Brian right back up. Very nicely done.
He eats a couple punches there. Head stamina got really low there for a minute. Good 1-2 coming back. He's landed some good shots to the head, though, and we've seen him do some damage already.
Able to stuff Boiler's takedown there as well.
Coming up on the 6-minute mark here, first round. Finals of the Grand Prix tournament here at Mystic 4.
Stuffs a takedown again. Brian looking great here against Boiler. You got to wonder if the fatigue maybe Boiler has from the last matchup. He fought Ninja Infinity for about 15 minutes, and that wasn't so long ago. Maybe he's a little tired, you know? Working so hard, working the game, working the controls, using your mind. Could have worn him out a little bit.
Got to rest your thumbs in between games sometimes.
You also got to consider the nervousness factor. We are here in the finals of the Mystic Grand Prix.
And that's no joke because people do get revved up for the fights, but they do get very nervous sometimes going on such a big stage, and we know what's on the line. You know, bragging rights, trying to win a tournament, be the guy that can go online, then go into the forums and say, hey, that's right, I'm the champ.
It's a big deal. Everybody wants to win a Grand Prix. Who doesn't want to win a Grand Prix?
Boiler doing some good body work in this round, too.
There's winning titles and there's winning Grand Prix. You know the names that won the Grand Prix over the years. You look back, Mark Coleman won way back earlier in the day. Mirko Krukop looked so dominant in his Grand Prix victory. It's a big deal. So these guys, they're giving it all they got right now.
I like what Brian's doing. He's landing some good shots there. Nice little 1-2. He's able to keep the fight standing up.
Stuff's takedown once again by Boiler, and he stands right back up. And Brian right there being aggressive, going after Boiler. Got to be a little careful going in crazy, because Boiler will counter and knock your head off if you're not careful.
I will say this, though. I mean, he's gone for some bigger punches, but at the same time, it's not like he's leaving himself too open. I mean, he's taken a lot of shots, but he's not going for anything that's really reckless. But you can see some body work being done there by Boiler and doing some damage.
Brian coming back in, missing quite a few shots there. Got to work on his distance a little bit. Boiler able to just kind of step back and avoid those punches.
Let's see what Boiler wants to do here because he's been so effective going to that midsection. He wants a takedown and gets it, though.
Boiler once again with a takedown. I wonder what his strategy is here. And I got to believe if he's going to get down here, he likes to just work and kind of be methodical from the bottom. But Brian, once again, able to stand up. Great counter fighting by Brian, especially on the ground.
Look at the damage done on the right side of the solar plexus there. It is red, and it is getting redder by the second.
When we talk about Boiler, he's got big power when he hits you.
Another big takedown there by Boiler. Not able to keep it on the ground, but doing some damage there. You can see Boiler, the right side of his face, he's got a nasty cut.
These guys going at it. This is a much more even matchup than I predicted going in.
Another takedown there by Boiler. Really find his range with those takedowns here, but he's not able to keep it down on the ground.
Yeah, Brian, it's like he's got a spring in his butt. He hits the ground, and he bounces right back up.
Better keep his hands up here, though.
One shot from Boiler will put you to sleep. We have seen that.
Boiler's found something here because, mind you, he's eaten a shot or two, but he's been able to time it over the past couple of minutes to get the takedowns, and now he's going to keep this one down on the ground as he gets side control.
Into side control. Boiler going to look for the mount, but no, Brian able to stand back up again. Got to believe Brian has really practiced that turn on that deal because he's done a great job at all points during this fight. When he hits the ground, he gets it right back up. But look at that. Boiler is in that mount position. That's a bad place to be with that man on top.
Yeah, we saw it in the last fight against Ninja Infinity where he was able to finish it, get this dominant position where he's able to use that big power that he has.
Now he's got both hooks in with the back. Is he going to go for shots or is he going to look for a submission here? Brian's going to look to escape out the back door.
But he's going to try and wear him down here, I think, though. Oh, and there he goes. Brian out the back door, like you said, and back up on the feet for both guys.
This guy's he's like Houdini, man. He's an escape artist from the bottom.
I'm telling you, Boiler's figured something out here. Look at the number of takedowns he's been able to get over the last couple of minutes.
Yes, he is just taking him down, but Brian always right back up.
But at some point, that has to be frustrating, even if you're able to get right back up, to not be able to stop the takedown in the first place.
Yeah, a little show of respect, touch of the gloves between the two guys there.
2.5 minutes left to go here in the first round.
Brian throwing some punches, catching a lot of air. Not a lot of body, though.
Back down the mat. Good job there by Boiler, keeping it down there. Look at that, man. It's just a war to see if they can keep this position because Brian definitely wants to get this standing back up.
See, slight delay in our video here. I think people are downloading maps today, Fritz.
It happens.
EA Sports. So many different games. It's a live broadcast. Finals of the Grand Prix. Mystic. Boiler taking on SlackBrian. Boiler in the camo, SlackBrian in the orangish. What's that? That's orange, right?
Orangish red.
Yeah. Orangish red.
Big shot there by SlackBrian. Nice little right hand.
Stuffs the takedown, but Boiler keeps it up on the feet.
And you can see the stamina is really going down here for Brian. He's taking a lot of punishment. Now it goes back down to the ground, taking another takedown.
Boiler just a takedown machine here in the fight. Not able to do a whole lot when he gets it down on the ground, but of course, you know, when you watch that, you get those takedowns. It's a visual of doing some damage.
And there's a lot of cumulative damage, I think, that's been done. You can see it just a little bit here, a little bit there. It all adds up.
These guys both busted open, both taking some good shots. Brian has done a really good job with his hands. I've been impressed that he's been able to connect as much as he has in this fight. I really thought Boiler was going to come in here and toy with him and put him down in a hurry, but Brian has been very competitive thus far in the fight. If it were not for all these takedowns by Boiler, I think this round would be very hard to judge.
Well, he did have that big knockdown early on.
Oh, that too, yeah. That's true, yeah.
Look at the stamina, though, on Brian. It's really starting to go down here. And look at that full mount here by Boiler as we hit the 1 minute mark.
And this is what Boiler waits for. He waits for the stamina to get down, and he wants to pound away. But Brian immediately gives him his back, lets him get the hooks. But Brian, once again, is going to look to escape out the back door.
Look at Boiler trying to hold this position, see if he can land a shot, try to soften him up here. Let's see if he actually goes for a submission.
Can the Houdini Brian escape out of this deal? Or is Boiler going to be able to pound him out?
Look at the damage done there. The head stamina way low there on Brian. Going down with every shot.
Boiler working real hard to keep that position. You can see Brian trying to get out. He's working for the real naked choke now with 30 seconds left in the fight.
He's going to be able to get it in there. I don't know if he's going to have enough time. That's going to be tough. He's cinching it in, though.
Locking in the Lion Killer. Can he finish off Brian with this choke?
Brian's still got to hold on. Only 20 seconds left to go here in the first round.
He's going to survive. There's no way.
I don't know. We're coming 30 seconds. He's going to have to tap out. This fight is over.
Wow.
An impressive display by Boiler. Finally able to get this one down on the ground. Hold him there. Gets those hooks in. Gets his back. And able to choke him out.
He gets the rear naked choke victory by Boiler. He shows he's well-rounded everywhere. Last time out, we saw him win by TKO. Mounted punches. This time, it's a rear naked choke submission victory for Boiler. And he is the Grand Prix champion.
Look at that. 30 seconds left and able to get that in there. Bragging rights there for the MMA Forum. Boiler taking away the Grand Prix tournament here.
He is the Mystic Grand Prix champion. Now he can take that with him. He talked about beating guys that are in the top 5 of the top 10 of the PlayStation Network. Now he can say he is, in fact, the Grand Prix champion here on the PlayStation.
When you look at the numbers, pretty even actually when it comes to the number of strikes that landed and punches. But look at the percentage, though. Boiler, 56% on strikes and punches.
Look at the takedowns,
12 takedowns. You could see it early on. He kept going for the takedowns, couldn't get them, but he figured something out, was able to time it better, got takedown after takedown, and finally was able to take that to his advantage and get in that rear naked choke.
Yeah, I think the big key was being able to stop Brian from those escapes. Brian was like a Houdini all throughout that match, escaping. On that final set of moves, when he had the back, he did not let him get out of that the back hooks, and he finally sunk in the rear naked choke, was able to get the tap out.
What a great tournament here. We're at Mystic 4, the finals of the Grand Prix tournament, and in the end, as we saw fighters from Middle Easy taking on guys from the MMA forums, a lot of different guys, got a lot of different experience levels going into this tournament, but in the end, it's the man who is a master white belt from the EAS MMA forum in Boiler coming away as the Grand Prix champion.
Brand new Grand Prix champion in Boiler. What will he do from here? 544 wins make it 545 now. He can add another submission victory to his tally. Nicely done.
And I got a feeling that he's going to be going in those forums. He's going to be bragging it up, and he has every right to do it because he is, in fact, the Grand Prix champion. Thanks again for everybody joining us. For Dickerman, I'm Brian Fritz. We appreciate you being a part of the live broadcast right here on EA Sports MMA.